Keep your hands and head inside the vehicle at all times. Buckle your seatbelts, check your mirrors, sit on back and relax. It's lights out and away we go for the Tall and Short of It podcast. Good morning, everyone. You're joining us for a Tall and Short of It race companion. We're at Spa this weekend. It's wet and wild. I'm your host, Justin.
I'm Aaron. Welcome back for another race companion, everyone. We're going through the formation lap right now. The race is going to start under safety car, as far as we're aware currently. Lots of rain. Sergio Perez out of the race from his crash during the lap going to the grid. Any other excitement to keep an eye on, Justin?
The lot of water on the track, and I think that's why we're starting like this. We had a couple of delays. Race has probably been delayed about 25 minutes if you're joining us a little late here. And it sounds like that we're going to be under safety car until a lot of the water's cleared off the track. Everybody is on full wets. There's low visibility. I'm kind of nervous here, man.
Yeah, I don't like this kind of start. Like, just watching the spray of the water off the back of the cars makes me so nervous with the visibility. Like, these guys are driving. I mean, even in the wet conditions, they're still going, like, extremely fast over all this water. And just not being able to see, you are just kind of turning and everything just by feel, memory, and like the glimpses of the track you can get in front of you. So
yeah, and based on I don't think it was as wet, but based on the helmet view from Fernando yesterday, on it was either from qualifiers or a free practice session.
I think it was FP3.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's very limited visibility. Just in the visor, in the helmet there, and to add all this water, the spray. Yeah, talk about a nightmare morning for these drivers.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's excited about this. Hopefully the rain will clear up. Maybe they've seen on the radar something interesting that makes it seem like it's going to kind of calm down a little bit. But Lando's been on the radio twice during this formation lap now, saying that there's almost zero visibility to see the car in front, and that there's a lot of aquaplaning on the track as well. So, or hydroplaning, I think is what I've always heard it called. But
so, is there a world where they have a whole race under safety car?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I believe if they had the safety car out and it didn't get better to the extent that they felt comfortable, they would red flag the race.
Like, what happens in that scenario? Like, they can't reschedule the weekend. It's just done.
Yeah, I don't know actually, like, what would happen if let's see.
Especially with the rule that if the cars are able to, they have to run. Like, you have to, get a driver in there. You got to put someone there. So it's surprising that they would ever just not complete the race. I'm surprised that they wouldn't complete it under, like, even under stringent conditions. I'm surprised that as an org they would be willing to forgo a full race. Yeah. And even like, and I'm not saying that the FIA like they shouldn't take into consideration the driver safety. Well, I guess what I'm getting at is run the race under precautionary measures or whatever.
Yeah, no.
What'd you find out?
I haven't really found much exactly. It's basically saying that there's a list of F1 races that have been red flagged because of like weather. There's articles talking about strategy when you're racing in the rain. Here's something on Reddit of, was any F1 race ever canceled because of weather? Yeah. I don't. I think they would just like cancel a race maybe, but I honestly don't know.
Right. I imagine there have to be some pretty
That
yeah, I
visibility is unreal.
seriously low.
You can barely even see from the camera. You can barely even see, like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's really low. And especially like I think of man, they don't even put
Yep.
brake lights on these things and it's
Start
like
procedure suspended. So we're gonna go back to, I guess, the grid park, and then yep, red flagged race. So I don't know. We'll see. We might not end up having a race today.
would not be fun. And then that means we don't have a spot. That means we don't have a spot for this year. We just get the qualifying sessions.
Yeah, that would be a
Because
bummer.
there's a race next weekend
Yeah,
already, right? Like this whole like that's what's so crazy about the F1 years. Like it's all pre-planned and jam-packed, and it's like something like this happens. There's no recourse.
yeah,
and
definitely.
and recourse for who as a sport we all lose out on the day. It's not like
Right.
whatever. I just want everyone to be safe. That's my main goal.
Yeah, it's just a
Want to
huge
enjoy
bummer.
a good yeah, just want to enjoy a good race weekend.
Definitely.
So we will be back once we have some more details about the red flag. Hopefully we get some cars on track for some running today, but yeah, we'll keep you posted.
Yep. And we are back, everyone. So getting ready for the restart of the race, or well, I guess new formation lap of the race before we get underway here at Spa. So this was about a 3-hour delay due to rain. The radar indicates that the rain should stop for about 20 minutes. So they're going to try and get a couple of laps in to get this for half points for the race. So there's
Happy to be back. We've been sitting here for a long time. Anybody who's interested, I'm just gonna mention this. In the meantime, me and Aaron were doing our first listen through of Kanye West's new album Donda. Give it a listen. It's on Spotify. That's how we were spending our break. But enough of that. We are back out on the formation lab. We are behind safety car right now, and the time is ticking down for hopefully an hour of racing.
Yep.
Although, like Aaron was saying, we just need 2 laps of good, safe racing, and we'll be able to get half points and call the race a day, and meet a fine compromise. Because I think the overall concern over the course of the conversation, summing up the last 3 hours, is yes, there have been races where the track is as wet and the tires are probably okay, but it's a matter of very, very low visibility. If you're watching the race, you can see they're putting up so much spray they can barely see each other. So yeah.
Drivers avoiding, even driving behind the safety car. Max was off to the side to avoid the spray coming up.
Yep, and it looks like
Sergio.
they're all kind of staggered.
Yeah, Sergio was able to get his car fixed during the break, so he is heading out there, starting from the pit lane on this. So he will be, I believe, a lap down as this starts under safety car.
Which is useful. I mean, the difference between starting a race and a DNF is pretty big. Maybe he doesn't make up any spots, but at least he was able to start and then hopefully complete the race with the rest of the drivers.
Yeah. Well, and they're giving this a shot for the race to go underway. They're not just trying to do 2 laps and then go from that to just like, okay, pack it in, everyone. So they're going to try and get this underway, and if we do end up getting 45 minutes or so of racing set per se, that's plenty of time to get a good number of laps in, see how that shakes up the grid. Anything can happen, so it's not a completely lost cause, but definitely would be tough for Checo to make up that room.
Yeah, maybe in dry conditions he would have a shot to make up some position, but honestly, I can't imagine you'd be like racing like crazy hard.
Well, no, but you never know. Someone could spin out. You could get a safety car. You could get like, maybe things do dry out enough, and you can beat people and get onto the slicks first, and like put in a good lap. You might be able to make up some positions and everything, but it's tough to say. But at least he's out there and gives him a shot at something. So
Yeah, I agree, and I think in maybe another angle of the conversation is talking about the mechanics who, we were under race delay for a little while, but there was a good portion of that where the car was like ready and just sitting.
Yeah, for
it's
probably
not
the
like
last
they
hour or so of it.
Right. So they were able to, they got the go ahead to crack on, and if they were able to get it done, they could get it back on the grid, and knowing that, they just put in the work and got it done. Couple that with having consistently the fastest pit times. I imagine the mechanics and the pit mechanics, they're a different team. Well, I'm just saying that whole little camp is doing really big things.
Well, and they did that last year with Max when he slid off on the opening. They had half an hour to get everything ready for the race, and they got his car back in shape to work. So it's very impressive what Red Bull's like just pit crew or like their garage has been able to do for those drivers. So
yeah. Well, and it's interesting. I believe it was Leclerc yesterday who damaged the front, and just overnight they're able, and he's just back out driving. It's just amazing what these teams are able to accomplish, like in between the downtime.
Oh, absolutely.
Or in between the race time.
This is pretty rough looking at it. The visibility's still pretty bad. So I know with the AccuWeather, which I was kind of keeping an eye on, it did look like there was
delightful
a good opportunity for the rain to stop. But as of right now, it looks like it's just going to be very light rain for the next hour or so. So,
sure.
Unfortunately. Yeah, it no longer quite looks like there's going to be any gaps in the rain.
Well, we may have just a bit more of a promenade around the track here, slow rolling it, showing off the cars. But hopefully we do get to some racing.
There's a couple opportunities. It looks like there's some breaks, but it's. Yeah, they're going to probably do a couple laps under safety car and then call it. That's a bummer, but for half points, I wonder what happens to 10th. You get 1 point, I guess?
They just get to take home all the bottles of champagne. There's no half points in Formula 1. That's a title. Yo, what do they call that? No crying in baseball?
Yeah.
No half points in F1.
No half points in F1. Yeah. I'm interested to see. Oh. Sergio's saying that it's getting a little better. It's drying out a little bit. Ugh.
Yeah.
That's a terrifying thought, crashing out in this, like, these conditions. There's no way that people are going to be able to stop in time.
And that's where the radios come so in handy, where you don't have to see them. Arguably, you'll be told on the radio, and you can immediately just start slowing down along. Like, that's happening in the other 19 cars as well.
Right, definitely.
So, yeah, that's encouraging. I just like how organized all of this is, man. Like, even
it's really
something
impressive.
Yeah, I agree. Even something that's, like, super kind of scary, they're like, well, this is the deal. Wow, what a turn that is. That's just insane. And what's
Just
crazy is like it used to be much harder.
Yeah. Well, and you're getting so much speed going down the hill and then immediately have to just like go up and turn. It's the aerodynamics on that have to be wild.
Well, and you see the people passing on there. It's like, wow. Obviously not in conditions like this.
Oh no,
But
definitely.
But then you think of like we were talking about on last week's episode of the podcast, Tall and Short of It. Find us on YouTube and Spotify. Oh my God, I was plugging our podcast and I totally forgot my train of thought. What was I saying?
I completely missed it. I got zoned in, but we were talking about the turn at people passing down
Yes.
the hill there.
Spa at one point had a 20-year run of always having rain on the track. So it blows my mind that like this is such a different kind of rain where people are like, "Oh, we don't know what to do with this," you know?
Yeah.
But yes, dangerous track. It seems like it's always raining here. So yeah, man, just like treachery
And
abroad.
They've red
flagged.
So
Session stopped.
So we still have the 45-minute or 51-minute time. So
it's just suspended. We can restart, but that clock will be ticking down.
yeah, and so as of right now, since it was under safety car, nothing has changed in the order. It would be Max first, George Russell second, Lewis Hamilton third. So George would get his first podium on a 2-lap race. And I guess we'll see what happens. See if we can get back underway and hopefully get some actual racing in. But for the meantime, we will go back to another pause and we will update you when things kind of come back.
Yippers, I think start or stop. We'll give an update and then close out with you guys. So we'll be right back.
And welcome back, everyone. So we just got to or the announcement from the race control. So the race will not resume. So the race is called 3 laps under safety car. Max wins. George Russell second, Lewis third, and it will be half points. So, Justin, what do you? I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, me too. I think the one interesting note that I'll make is this is fun to have sat here, been through this. Because now going forward, this is going to be like a little bit part of like Spa lore and F1 lore. So I'm happy to have been here with F1 fans in general for what's going to be a talked about moment of the year and a precedent for other races. The other thing, what we got going on right on screen is Russell gets a P2, gets his first podium in F1. Yeah, a little bit bittersweet that it's under like the safety car and whatever. But like I said, probably off camera, he did a cracker of a qualifying lap.
Oh, yeah.
So, shout out to George Russell. I think that's the biggest story of the weekend, biggest story of the day. Even 2 laps under safety car, man. Shout out George Russell.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's awesome. It's definitely a bummer that we're not going to be able to see the full race. I would have loved to see, especially with the weather, if the rain had been lighter, see what George could do, because he could clearly put a good lap out there. Finishing just 0.3 down on Max at the end of that quali lap and everything was just unreal. So really, really pumped for him, and that's exciting, but it's definitely not the way we wanted to see it happen.
For sure.
But hey, George did the best out of everyone except Max for the amount of racing that happened this weekend. So that's all you can say.
Yeah.
So congrats to him.
The anything to play for in the rain is really exciting. Sorry to cut you off there, Aaron.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everyone else had the same opportunity. George put an awesome lap out there. That's exciting. So Max will be down just 3 points now in the constructors or in the drivers' championship. Yeah, it's exciting.
We have head-to-head coming up. So another race weekend. We got free practice 1 and 2 coming up on Friday. Aaron, what track are we at next weekend?
Yeah, so this is in Netherlands this coming weekend for the Netherlands Grand Prix, or the Dutch Grand Prix. So should be a really, really good race. That is over at, let's see here, that's at the Circuit Zandvoort. So it's going to be a good race. We've got one coming up, but unfortunately not too much really else that we can say about this race just because how little racing we actually had today. So
2 laps under safety car, and that was about it. I'm glad to see nobody was hurt. I'm happy they made the safety decisions. So yeah, just a little bit of bittersweet kind of everywhere you look.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess we will take this one out of here. So that was the extremely short Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. Again, Max P1, we've got George Russell P2 and Lewis P3. But find us on YouTube. Check out this coming week's podcast. That will come out Thursday on YouTube and Wednesday night on anywhere you find podcasts. Justin, I'll leave it up to you.
It has been another tall and short of it, super short race companion. Peace out, everyone.
Later.